Hey guys, how are we doing? So it's Crypto Insight UK bringing you back another YouTube video. Today we're just going to be deep diving into XRP and my thoughts on it. It won't be a massively long video, it's just going to be like an update on XRP. I haven't really touched too much on it recently because not much has really been happening. It's kind of been chopping and ranging. It's basically been doing that since the start of the year, April sort of time. So let's just get into it, I guess. So we're on the weekly time frame right now. And the first thing I want to draw your attention to is this low volume. We've got this is actually a bullish divergence in my opinion. So we've got, we've got the price coming down, we've got the RSI coming down, and the volume coming down. This is indicative of something that needs some kind of catalyst, and then you should get a strong reversal. If you look at the volume levels, if you look at not just last week, so if you look at where my the little horizontal line is with this dotted line. In fact, I'm going to put horizontal ray in there, just so we can see. Horizontal ray. We're going to put it in here just so it covers it all. Bang, there. So if you look right here, I can't move that very easily because it's going to move the chart. But if you look at last week, this volume's low. The week before that, the volume's like as low as it was all here in the bear market. Our volume now is almost lower, if not lower, the trading volume than what it was in the bear market. Even like down here at absolute bottom, we're at 10 cent. We're here at 15 cent, and the volume's lower than the trading volume in there. And we're at what, 74 cent right now. So this could honestly be spelling for me a complete a proper bottom in here. And then we're going to get involved in a bit of a smaller time frame. But guys, all my price targets are still on. The timing's always hard. I always say that the timing's hard, if not impossible, because we never know what's going to happen in the market. We never know what news is going to come out. But we're going to get into the daily, and we're going to talk about some breakout targets and where I'm going to be looking at XRP specifically. So let's just have a look at what's going on here. So we're in this lovely little buy box here. This buy box is absolutely gorgeous. I love this buy box. So we've wicked into here before. We wicked into here. This is when the SEC case, before the SEC case was announced here, our first little run up, we wicked in, found this as resistance, came down, SEC case announced, a bit of a relief rally, and then delisting of exchanges, boom, crash. Then we had that pump, the XRP pump group. It's like February time, I think it was. Yeah, February. Really tried to push out, wicked here, sold off, and then we reaccumulated and pushed on again. We've used this area of support here. We wicked into it as support here. We wicked just above it a few times here. We used it as resistance here, this buy box. Yes, we fell through it, but then we bought back up, and then we used it as support here. And now we're nicely chilling inside this little buy box here. And I'm going to get into what these lines are in a second and show you potential play that saw the other day. But what am I looking for us to break more bullish? Again, look at the volume. It's in the floor, guys. Absolutely in the floor. Look at the volume here, here. Compared to where we are now, we've got no volume. When the price is coming down, the volume is coming down. It does sometimes signal a reversal. It's a bullish indicator, that is. It signals a reversal pattern. So we're stuck underneath the moving averages. So first off, we need to try and reclaim these moving averages. That's the first goal. So if we're going to have a breakout, guys, I'd like to see us break up above, really, if we can go above this local high, brilliant, to like 102. But first step, trying to break above the moving averages. Then once we break above those, we're then targeting this descending trend line here. We want to be breaking up to the 120, 130s, and really we need to be breaking out above this wick here at the 141. If we can break above that 141, we're targeting up here at 160, and the 190 is also resistance here from where we found that resistance back in spring. So they're the price targets and what I'm really chasing after here. But honestly, at this price, 73 cent, with the lawsuit settlement closer than ever, I honestly think that the risk reward ratio is super worth it if you're trying to get more exposure into an asset. Obviously not financial advice. Nothing I say is financial advice. I thought we might have a double bottom scenario playing out here. Boom, with a breakout above the moving averages. Didn't happen. We then rejected the 50. And we've come down again. So what we're doing is actually just zigzagging inside this area. I'm going to get rid of these because that play didn't work out. We're using this bottom of this range of support. We have just fallen out of it slightly. We're still stuck below this moving average. We tried to break above, lost it again. And now I would be looking for a bounce around here, 73 cent. But we are just ranging, and we have been for a little while. Could we take out this liquidation low? Maybe. I did say a while back to put some high 68, 67 bids on. The reason for that is because when we've had our previous liquidation lows, where are we looking? Let's get on the daily, see if my if it is this chart, 'cause I get confused with Bitcoin and XRP charts sometimes. So we had this previous liquidation low. We then set a new low, a higher low, double bottom, and then out we come. So we've set this liquidation low. Here we go, and again the same here. Set liquidation low, new low, higher low, out we come. Liquidation low. We haven't set a new low, so that's why I said around that 68 mark. Okay, I said around the 68 mark because actually on Bitcoin it's a little bit different. If I show you on Bitcoin, I didn't really want to get into Bitcoin, but I just think while we're there, this is all my drawings. Look, so we set the new low, liquidation low, and high low, out we come. New low, liquidation low, high low, out we come. So we've set the new low for Bitcoin already, and that's the reason why I say what I'm saying about XRP, is because yes, we've had the liquidation low and a new low, but Bitcoin could be looking up to set the higher low already, and XRP has been holding this level. So if Bitcoin sets that new low, has set that already, and we start to rally for Bitcoin, we could see XRP come up, find some resistance on the moving averages, come back down again, and set a higher low up here. So I was thinking if Bitcoin has set its new low, and it's going to form a higher low, if this is the low for Bitcoin, then we could brush out of this zone. But if it's not, we could see a little bit further of a depreciation for Bitcoin, just slightly. I think we could come down to the 39,000-ish area. And if that happens, XRP should then follow suit, and that would put us in the high 60s, just in and around this area here, which is where I would be looking to scoop some up. It really does couple well with this. These swing highs here. So it's a good little area of resistance that you could use or support for placing some orders, the high 60s, just below the bottom of this liquidation low here, because people have the stop loss here as well, and then you can just scoop up the extra little percentage on the 68. But you've got to be careful because it might not get filled. And what I always say to people is don't try and pick the exact bottom. This price in and around here, even if you lose a few more percent, very good area for accumulation in my opinion. So that's basically the XRP chart nailed on the head. We've got this descending trend on the RSI as well, waiting for a push up. We are very low on the RSI too, waiting for a push up and help us to get out of this zone that we're stuck in. Just remember guys, when we have found previous bottoms, we have had a big rally. So if you say that this is the previous bottom, even though it took a while to work its way up there, you could say this was the low here. I'm going to actually put it on accurately so we can see how many days it took us to work our way up to the high, and how that's still awful drawings from me, and percentages where, right, we're going to take 3 days off this price because I couldn't draw it accurately. So in about 107 days it moved 1,000% in that last low. That was the low back in the 29th of December last year. This low here, it took 70 days to move 200%. So let's say we move the same sort of distance, 200% in 200 days. Where are we going to go from here? It's $2.30, breaking through that resistance. That'll be by March, $2.30. But I honestly think that we could be forming a low, and this would just be off price action. So for Bitcoin, this would kind of work quite well. It depends what happens in this lawsuit, and we're going to get into that in a second. But this could work quite well in terms of just price action. If Bitcoin does have, there's two different theses on the market at the minute. Bitcoin's topped, and if it has, it will have a relief rally, and in that relief rally is when we hit to see an alt season. And the other thought process is that it's just slowly walking upwards, Bitcoin, and if it's just grinding upwards slowly, we could start to see a grind out of this area, and XRP could rise with that. So that would set us nicely up towards the end of the lawsuit, when I think we can have a real explosion. I think once we break this 190 mark, we are looking for that anyway. So I know that sounds horrible to hear and watch, but it just means that this accumulation zone is still here for now. We have had the bearish cross on the daily, but we also have one down here. It's a bit of a lagging indicator. I don't think that XRP is in a bear market. Really don't. I'm still accumulating. I just bought a few thousand more XRP today. Yeah, so that's just my personal opinion. Risk reward ratio is massive. I do honestly believe that we are going to hit our extensions. I've got my money placed on $13.10, which is just about the top of this Fibonacci extension. Exactly where I'm looking for this potential breakout from this pattern that we're in now. Okay, that's just my personal opinion. I don't know why my fibs are all over the place, but anyway, 1310 is my personal opinion for this breakout. Let's have a look, see if that lines up. It's a bit higher, 1350. But I have always targeted 1310. And that is what I'm staying with. So we're going to get into some of the news. Sorry, I just rambled a little while there. So we're going to get into some of the news. So we can start with the lawsuit news. So James Phelan posted this. He's a great little follow on Twitter if you want to keep up to date with the SEC versus Ripple news. The SEC has filed a letter of supplemental authority in support of its motion to strike Ripple's fair notice defense. Below is the letter. I had a little look at the letter. Basically, I'm going to help Jeremy Hogan. We're going to help Jeremy Hogan's going to use us. We're going to use Jeremy Hogan's explanation to help me explain what's going on. So Jeremy Hogan says a case came out last month that marginally helps the SEC's position in motion to strike Ripple's fair notice defense. So the SEC filed it with court. Basically, there was a case, the 5 case. The defendant tried to argue fair notice in order to dismiss the lawsuit entirely, and failed because the burden is very high on a party moving to strike a pleading. I don't know what that means. 5 can still raise it as an affirmative defense later, and I expect they will. In the Ripple case, the SEC is trying to strike the affirmative fair notice defense and it has high burden to meet. The general idea in modern courts is that the decision should be made after looking at the evidence, and there's no plausible way of winning. Basically, they're in very different stages of litigation, and we're going to just read through what some of the people have asked Jeremy Hogan here, because I have actually read a few things. Simpler, the SEC's new case is also discussing whether a guy should date a girl. The new case involves a 25-year-old guy, and Ripple's case involves a 50-year-old guy. The guy hasn't changed. The criteria the guy will always use make the decision that are completely different. So what we're going to do is, I saw some really good responses to this the other day, and now obviously because I'm looking for this I cannot find them, so that's always fun. Let's have a look what he said. Great. Okay, so I can't find those responses now, but he was basically saying he thinks there's a 7.5%, the 7.5 out of 10 chance that Ripple will that the judge will not rule on the strike of the fair notice defense, meaning that it could go to court for fair notice, which would be great for us as Ripple XRP holders, because basically if we get to go to court for fair notice, then the SEC will not want this to happen. It's basically a win-win for Ripple. It means that we and I say we as a collective of XRP holders, but I actually mean Ripple too, we would then be able to say, okay, you didn't give us enough time for the lawsuit. Then if it did go to court and the decision was favourable for Ripple, the lawsuit would be finished. There would be no specific title for XRP. The lawsuit would be done, and then other cryptos, if they ever got sued by the SEC, could use this case as case precedent to say, okay, you can't sue us now because you couldn't sue Ripple because you didn't give them enough time, so it's not fair on you to sue us. So that's very positive in terms of the crypto market. It could bring a lot of positivity into the market. However, what I think would happen if this got approved, and it could go to trial, so the judge didn't go with the SEC's motion to strike, I think the SEC would try and settle as soon as possible, because the SEC don't want to take the chance to lose that fair notice defense in court, and for Ripple to get away like that, and for also protection for all the other cryptocurrencies in the market. So that's something to bear in mind. I think there'll be a settlement pretty blooming quick if we do see the judge's decision of the lack of fair notice being struck. Sorry, my phone keeps going nuts and it keeps putting me off. If we see that the judge's decision of the lack of fair notice being struck, then we should see a settlement pretty soon, in my opinion. Also, some things to keep an eye on with Ripple XRP, and this is from October of last year, is that ODL transactions accounted for 25% of the volume across the Ripple network. They've 25x'd since last year, since the year of 2020. So since Q3 of 2020, the ODL transactions have 25x'd. They're 130% up quarter over quarter, and ODL can now be accessed in 20 countries around the world. ODL specifically utilizes XRP-powered payments for their business. It's absolute madness that people can think that XRP is not involved with Ripple in terms of a business, in terms of RippleNet. I understand that people just don't get XRP. There's a lot of hate on the market, and a lot of hate specifically towards XRP for not a lot of reasons, to be completely honest. I understand that people think it's centralized, they're working with the banks, all this sort of stuff. But if you're here as an investor, you need to be looking at things like this. And look, that I think that XRP is massively undervalued in comparison to what it should be market value wise, because of a mixture of FUD, both around the SEC case and original investors in crypto, and also a mixture of like being scared. The cryptos are scared of the network, scared of what it could bring, and scared of the adoption it could have. We also know that JP Morgan wrote an article about XRP. This investment bank, one of the biggest investment banks in the world, wrote that XRP was in line for some massive adoption worldwide should they get over the SEC lawsuit. This is someone who has created their own coin, JPM coin, which is supposed to be, quote unquote, a competitor or the XRP killer. Not the case at all. They're still writing about XRP, massively bullish on it. And I think that if we do get the settlement of this lawsuit and this lawsuit finishes, what you've got to think is, how fast will it be relisted on exchanges? So will the liquid supply dry up? Is everyone around the world going to buy it before American get involved? We're going to see indexes who have to buy XRP specifically because they have the top 10 cryptos on an index. So they will have to buy a specific amount of XRP. We're going to see, obviously, relisting. Like I said, we're going to see Ripple potentially IPO, which I've heard from Brad Garlinghouse and Yoshitaka Kitao from SBI Holdings. We've got so much positivity coming for Ripple and XRP. Then could we also see ODL corridors coming out of the US? Imagine the volume that would bring to the network. And then we also finally we will see at some point, obviously we've got Ripple's liquidity hub, but we also will see CBDCs come into action, and XRP's main goal is to be a neutral bridge currency and basically keep those corridors open for all the CBDCs of the world. We know they're working with the Digital Pound Foundation as well as many others. They're working with about 50 central banks plus around the world. So eyes on for a settlement and an explosion in the price of XRP. I don't understand anyone's argument when they say it's not going to go anywhere just because it hasn't in the last 1,400 days makes it a ridiculous argument that it's never going to go anywhere. You just need to actually understand what you're holding, read into what you're holding, and that's about it. And I hope this video helps you with this. And I know I've rambled quite a lot so far, and I'm going to try and stay more focused now. Put my phone on silent mode. We are going into this again from the CBDCs that I talked about. This I found this very, very interesting, guys. Central banks around the world are beginning to explore some form of CBDC to bring opportunities to their communities. How many underbanked people in the world does CBD have potential to help? Find the answer in our white paper. I thought it was 1 billion. There's 1.7 billion unbanked or underbanked people in the world. That will bring another third of the population into the financial world. If basically almost obviously. Almost a third of people in the world extra, just because a CBDC will come. If a CBDC comes through, it means that people just need a phone and they can then access CBDCs. This chart I thought was very interesting. It's an inverted XRP chart on the weekly. If you look at it like this, it looks definite for a breakdown, in my opinion, which is actually, if you flip it the other way around, is actually a push off. And this guy's also targeted the same sort of area as me. This is around 1250 where the 7th wave comes in. So we have the 5 Elliott waves, but with the larger 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the blockchain backer famous rolls back up for 6 within, doesn't go higher than wave 4, and then we come back down for the 7th and final push down, setting a lower low, or a higher high in this case. So that's what we're looking for. That was very interesting. We've also got CryptoBull. He's very positive for XRP always. He's showing this ascending trend line with higher lows all the time, and then we're looking for our next push towards a new all-time high. It looks to make sense to me. And again, I think he's targeting around the $15 to $20 mark. I've heard today, saw an article and listened to Thinking Crypto's YouTube channel this morning, who said that an analyst was calling for $27 XRP top. We've then got, this is something that I've always found a bit dodgy, honestly, to be completely honest with you. While both Ripple and Jed McCaleb get to continue to sell XRP. XRP holders have their XRP frozen. IRA accounts can't sell or convert their XRP until the case is over. So tell me, who's the SEC protecting by bringing the enforcement action the way it did? Utter disgrace. So Ripple can still sell their XRP, Jed McCaleb can sell their XRP. However, Ripple are being sued for selling unregistered security, and Jed McCaleb's just sitting there selling it out of his wallet. Don't understand that at all. I'd love someone to be able to explain that to me. This is another thing. The complaint versus Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson claims XRP has no utility, and the founders / CEO sale of XRP to enrich themselves. The SEC made the same claim during an oral argument. If that's truly the case, and they believe this, why didn't they seek an injunction to stop sales? Because Ripple and XRP have been going to the SEC for the last 8 years, and the SEC could have stopped these sales if they'd actually thought this. But they're not actually doing them for fraud. This would be fraud if they were just selling it to enrich themselves. So, in my opinion, the SEC's argument doesn't make sense. And finally, a bit of conspiracy here for you. Jack the Rippler on Twitter, or RippleXRPie, put this: multi-millionaires we've made this month. It's just one of these like little quotes from, I think it's like from 4chan or somewhere like that. And I don't necessarily believe them like at all, guys. I just wanted to let you guys know this is happening because, I don't know, the riddles at least are fun if there's nothing else. So it's not necessarily a riddle, it's just someone talking about XRP. And on. The discovery phase of the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit ends on the 14th of January. It's actually the 19th now because we've had a few extra days for an extra deposition for both sides. It was already extended once, so it's unlikely to be extended a second time. Most cases settle on or shortly after the end of discovery, which is what I've been saying, guys. Basically, they use discovery to try and find information for themselves, jiggle their best place for a settlement. It's kind of like a chess match. You use the discovery period to take as many pieces as you can, and then, like, imagine you've got no moves left, and you're like, okay, who's winning? You say me or you, and then you say why you think you are, etc., and then you get a settlement out there. That is also when the bullish full moon happens. Furthermore, we're at local bottom, and we'll at worst crab in this range until the 14th, but likely make slight upward trend before then, as the market slowly comes back in. As the money slowly comes back into the market. We have 9 days to accumulate before the epic moon golden bull run, spurred on by XRP winning the lawsuit and officially being recognised as the first SEC legal crypto. And this is about the discovery. If you're an American, you can buy XRP on Uphold. It takes about 30 minutes. You have to KYC approved. Good luck. Basically, that's one other thing that I didn't talk about, is that if XRP does win this lawsuit or gets a settlement, a good settlement with a clear settlement, it will be the only crypto with clear regulatory guidelines. And that's another thing that I think a lot of people want to FOMO into on the back of this lawsuit, being scared that they might go after other cryptos and seeing the depreciation that that can have on them. So anyway, guys, I hope this helped, and I hope you appreciate this video. I know I rambled quite a lot in it. I'm sorry that I wasn't quite switched on. I hope that it did help you guys. I know that you guys might not think I'm that bullish on XRP. I haven't been reporting on it too much because nothing has changed. I'm still waiting for some kind of breakout. I'm still waiting for some kind of update from the lawsuit. I'm still waiting for something to really slap me in the face so I can report it to you guys. Try and keep you updated as much as I can. I listen to the news about XRP every day, and I won't miss out on anything. And if I do find out some more information, guys, I will bring that to you. If you enjoyed the video, please share it with a friend, like and subscribe, and drop a comment in there if you've got any questions for me. I'd very much like to hear what you guys think.